Hey, good evening. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to part three, the final part of this workshop, Yoga Philosophy. So, today we are going to learn about the later half of the eight limbs of yoga. Now, so far we have done, let's go over the previous ones. So far we have done the yamas, the niyamas, and then came asanas, then was pranayama. Okay, now these are the asanas is about sitting, the posture. Pranayam is about breathing, regulation of the breath, and yamas and niyamas are moral practices, right? That a yogi has to follow in order to progress further in their spiritual life. So, in a way, all these four are external, pertaining to the body, pertaining to the moral practices, how we should behave, or how what we should incorporate in our lives, and about breath. So, more or less external side of the eight limbs. Now it is going to go subtle, and we are moving inwards. The last four, and those are Pratyahar, Pratyahar. Okay, that's the fifth limb, Pratyahara, and then comes Dharana, and then comes Dhyan and Samadhi. These are the last four inwards. These are internal, and these are at a subtle level. Okay, so now it's going to be more of a deeper understanding of this and more about practice. This also includes practice, but this is an entirely different platform. So, this is a tiny bit of introduction. Let's begin with Pratyahara. Now, Pratyahara is Pratyahara, Hara or Har. We are going to break this down first in order to understand. So, Pratya and Ahar with an A over here. Okay? Pratya will mean special or something unique or special, and Ahara means to eat or food or to eat. Okay? So, special food for the mind. Selection of the diet for the mind, which means you cannot just feed it anything. So we are selecting, we are practicing how to select special diet or food for the mind, having the mind eat only specific material that we select. And in order to do that, we have to bring ourselves to that capacity, and which is called Pratyahara. Okay, and that's a very simple explanation. In order to understand Pratyahara again, we have to understand the sense organs. So, sense organs. First, let's go over the sense organs of a human body. Now, there are 10 sense organs in a human on the human body. There are 5 and 5. The first 5 that we can easily see are at the grosser level. And when I say gross, it doesn't mean anything that is disgusting. It means that it is at a obvious level, which could be easily seen. That's the meaning of gross. So please understand that way. So 5 at the grosser level, which are also called active level. We can also say active or gross. Now these are in Sanskrit, they are called karamendriya. Is karamendriya means karam means action, endriya means sense organs. So the sense organs that help in bodily actions. Okay. Now these are 5 of them, and they are the hands, the feet, mouth, right? Through which we can talk, and again, that's an action, talking. And then we have genitals, and then we have anus for excretion, right? These are the karamendriya or active sense organs. But pratyahar, we are going to just mention this because we want to understand pratyahar. So we won't be going over these a lot. Now the next one are the subtle. Now the subtle are also called, these are the subtle sense organs. These are also called cognitive. And because they are subtle, they cannot be easily seen, right? Now hearing, sight, touch, taste, and smell. Now in Sanskrit, they will be called Jnanendriya. Jnan means knowledge, and Indriya means sense organs. So the sense organs that help us with knowledge. Now, knowledge could be knowledge or information from the outer world coming in through these subtle or cognitive sense organs into the body and into the mind and into the soul. Now, withdrawal of senses. Withdrawal of senses is pratyahara. When I say senses, it's the sense organs, and these are, unless it is a grosser or the active ones, please understand this as the subtle sense organs, which are the hearing, smell, sight, taste, and touch. Okay. Now, withdrawal of senses is called pratyahara, number 1. And then withdrawal means I'm not engaging with the world. Now, not engaging with the world doesn't mean that I just I leave myself alone. I'm not engaging with my life. I'm not doing my duties. I'm not um, concerned with anyone. Not engaging with the world means selective engaging with the world. One is engaging with everything and everyone that comes your way, and one is choosing where to spend your energy and what information you take in through your eyes, ears, and what you talk, what do you want to eat, which is taste, right? This is the meaning of not engaging. Now, it is not a physical shutdown of the body. It is not a physical shutdown. of the sense organs or the body. It is mind, it is, like I said, it is selective. You have to engage, but where you are engaging and where you are withdrawing or shutting down, that we are learning through Pratyahara. And now this also means that we should not let the mind flow outwards all the time. That's why we are not engaging always. Why do we need Pratyahara? If there is a question being asked, why should we practice Pratyahara? Engaging, selective engaging, withdrawing from the world every now and then. And why should we be selective with the sense organs? Why Pratyahara? Why should we practice Pratyahara? Because the senses or the sense organs are directed outwards. It is their nature. They see, or whatever they are given the freedom to see or hear, they will absorb, and their duty is to send it to the mind. So that's one reason we should be practicing Pratyahara, or selective engagement of the sense organs. So this is number one. And number two, sense organs, they will distract the mind. Now, again, this is what they do. They always distract the mind. The more they are used, the more distracted the mind will get. Okay? And that's the reason we should be practicing Pratyahara. Or anyone on spiritual path, on a spiritual journey, has to practice Pratyahara in order not to get distracted every now and then, to engage the mind and to be selective in where they should be talking, they should be talking, and what they should be hearing and listening to. And of course, food and dietary considerations are always there. Okay? So
Rupa, is that so that you're conserving energy or staying in consciousness? Is that what the idea is
yes,
there?
because now we
Okay.
are moving from yamas, we are moving towards samadhi, towards total absorption, towards finding the true self of who we are. And it all started from moral practices, and then it came down to asanas, to be able to sit for a longer time in a certain posture. Then it came to breathing, how to regulate the breath, and now it's going towards the mind. Now the bodily functions have been taken care of. Now it's the mind part. So that's why, yes. And when we use the sense organs less, we have more energy. There is less fatigue by the end of the day, definitely. And less fatigue means we can use that energy towards something better, which otherwise is not possible, because if the mind is distracted, and why the mind is distracted? Because the sense organs are out of control. Or we don't even know that this how the sense organs are related to the mind. There is ignorance about all this. Once we know, then we have to be the yogi, or the person who is treading this path will be careful with eyes, ears, nose, and taste, touch, and smell, everything. So that's the idea behind it. Saving energy and using it somewhere else for better purpose.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Selective engagement of the sense organs and to be able to shift or withdraw at will. Whenever we want, we are able to completely shut down. And able to shut down at will signify, can anyone take a guess? To be able to shut down or shift from what you are doing when you realize that this is not needed. What do we call that? Stage. Awareness. Without awareness, we will not be able to find out when to shift, when to withdraw. Okay, and awareness is very closely related to Pratyahara. So outside world, inside world, switch on, switch off at will. When you switch off from the outside, you can easily switch on the inside. Pratyahara is a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite to the next level, which is called Dharana. You cannot engage, you cannot move into Dharana if you don't know or if you haven't practiced Pratyahara. And we will talk about Dharana, what it means, but for now, we can just hold on to this. It is very imperative, it is very, very essential or imperative to go beyond the senses. Without going beyond the senses, there will be no Dharana. The senses, that's when we are able to find out the true self. Because the sense organs, like previously mentioned, they are directed outwards and they tend to take the mind to different places. And to notice and find out the true self, you have to be directed inwards, not outwards. So here the culprit is the sense organs. That these are the ones, they are directing the mind outwards. Unless we curb these sense organs through Pratyahara, we cannot direct our mind inwards. The mind is not ready to be used for inner purposes. The mind is not trained to look inside. So, in order for us to train the mind, we have to forsake the sense organs at times during the day. Regular practice. Okay? And when we are talking about the senses, we are mostly about talking about the subtle ones. Now, when we practice all this, going beyond the senses and engaging, withdrawing from the external world, what will this do? This will discipline the mind in the long, with regular practice and consistent practice. This is going to discipline the mind. The mind becomes quiet. The mind gets calm. Because here it is very essential to go beyond the senses. This is mentioned, this is one of the aphorisms of Patanjali in Yoga Sutras, chapter 2. And the aphorism is 2.54 and 2.55. If you have the books, you can go over this. He has mentioned this. It is very imperative for a human being to go beyond the senses to know the true self, to discipline the mind, and to quieten the mind. Round, and we'll try to understand a little better in this way. Now, and then we have, this is the buddhi, this is the mind. And then we have the eyes, ears, which is the sight, hearing, nose is the smelling, and tongue is the taste, and skin is the touch. These are the 5 subtle sense organs. And then we have the outside world. This is the inside, and this is the outside. This is the formation of the subtle world, the inside world. This is in every human being. Okay? And now this is not bodily. This is at the subtler level. This is how we can understand the working of the intellect, of the mind, and the sense organs. Now, the outside world will have the triggers. All the triggers are outside. And these triggers, it could be anything, absolutely anything at all. The triggers are picked up by the sense organs, which are related to that specific sense organs. Okay, let's say watching a movie. Now, this will be the eyes and the ears, right? So I'm picking up the stuff from the screen, whatever I'm watching. It could be anything. It could be a nice thing. It may not be nice, but I am watching it. And then I'm listening also, right? And now when I'm absorbing this from this trigger, the mind is reading that. Now, mind is creating thoughts. The purpose of the mind is to create thoughts. It cannot go anywhere beyond this. Mind can only create thoughts. It doesn't know if it is a good thought or a bad thought. It doesn't have the power to discriminate between the thoughts. It will only create a thought from whatever is coming its way. And it is coming from the sense organs. And the sense organs are connected with the outside world. Now, when the mind creates the thought, the information travels to buddhi. Buddhi is the intellect. It is called intellect in English. Let's remain with buddhi. It's much more closer to the substance. Now, buddhi is creating images. That's its job. Just like the job of the mind is to create thoughts, whatever thought reaches the buddhi, it is going to create an image of that thought. This is all happening in a flicker of a second. And it is happening throughout the day. And it is happening throughout our lives. And we don't even realize it. Looking outside through the sense organs, information going to the mind, thoughts are getting created, Images are getting built in front of us, and we are making images all throughout the day, all our lives. And from the images, this is affecting, creating the quality of the soul. The soul is either getting empowered through the images, thoughts, and whatever is coming from outside, or it is getting depleted. It is losing its power. And now this one, this is the pure consciousness, and it is standing alone. It doesn't have, it doesn't need the buddhi, mind, or the sense organs for its survival. It is standing alone. But yes, it is looking at the buddhi and the mind and the sense organs and the outside world. But it is a unit in itself. So this is the observer. If you have heard the word witness or observer, observe the mind, observe the thoughts. This is going to observe the mind and the thoughts and everything. Now, Pratyahara starts here. Dharana begins here. And then we move on to Dhyana and Samadhi. This is how this is working now, inwards. This is the innermost part of the consciousness, pure consciousness, witness consciousness, or the true reality, or the true self, or the spirit, or the soul, however you may want to call it. And this is only one and standing alone. So, almost done. And now, how to practice? How to? We are going to, what should we practice? Disengaging the sense organs from the outside world. And how to disengage the sense organs? To use them initially, when we are about to begin Pratyahara, we are a beginner, we are a novice. So to engage the sense organs rather than outside or randomly, we have to give them a task to engage. This could be chanting, also called jap, repeating the same mantra over and over again. It could be Om, it could be anything, Gayatri mantra, or there are so many mantras um, and one word, the seeds that you can chant on, right? It could be breath, engaging the sense organs on the breath, which we usually practice in yoga classes. Externally, it could be a deity, the image of a deity. You want to engage your sense organs on that image, right? That is an external way to practice. Or it could be service, withdrawing the senses from here and there, engaging them in service. Those are the ways you can initiate Pratyahara in your life. Now, remember, this is a voluntary disconnect, not under pressure. And whatever is done voluntarily, it is done with happiness, and there is no struggle in it. Reason The next three ones are, if we understand on the same day, it will help a lot. So we will understand the Dharana and Dhyan and then Samadhi. And very interesting. So any questions from today's topic? We can take it. Let me stop the recording. All right. So thank you, everyone, and namaste. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Rupa.